My dear friends, sometimes life tests us not because we are weak, but because life knows we are stronger than we think. And right when we are about to give up, that is usually the moment when victory is standing just one step away. So today, I want you to remember this one powerful truth. The darkest night is always before the brightest sunrise. If you feel like giving up, maybe, just maybe, your sunrise is about to begin. When you reach that moment where your heart feels heavy, your mind feels confused, and your strength feels drained, that very moment is not a sign that you should quit. It is a sign that you are standing at the doorway of your breakthrough. Life has a very interesting way of testing us. It does not test us when we are comfortable, relaxed, or confident. It tests us when we are exhausted, uncertain, and emotionally fragile. Because that is exactly when life reveals what we are truly made of. Many people think the breaking point is the moment to stop. But the truth is that the breaking point is usually where the miracle hides. It is the point where the journey becomes painful, not because you are far from success, but because you are unbelievably close. Think about it like this. When a seed is buried under the soil, the moment it begins to sprout is the moment the pressure is the highest. The darkness is the hardest, the soil feels the heaviest. But the seed doesn't know that the very next push, the very next inch, will break it into the light. If it gives up at that moment, it never becomes the tree it was meant to be. And humans are no different. We often quit not because the goal is impossible, but because we are tired of waiting for the results. We don't realize that right behind our tiredness, right behind our frustration, right behind our doubt, victory is quietly waiting. There are moments in life when everything seems stuck. The doors don't open. The opportunities don't appear. The efforts don't show results. And your mind says, maybe this is not for me. But let me tell you something powerful. When your mind starts whispering that you are done, life is whispering that you are close. The universe does not push you to your limits to punish you. It pushes you because it knows your strength. You don't feel the intensity when you are far from success. You feel it when you are about to reach it. Have you ever noticed that the last few steps of a marathon are the hardest, not because the runner is weak, but because the finish line is right there? The muscles are burning precisely because they are about to cross the line of victory. And that's exactly how life works. When your body, your mind, and your emotions feel like you have nothing left, that is exactly when you must give one more step, one more push, one more breath of determination, because the greatest breakthroughs come disguised as the toughest moments. So if you feel like giving up, remember this: your victory might be so close that life is simply testing if you truly deserve it. Don't let the weight of the journey make you forget the beauty of the destination. Keep going, even if you crawl, even if you struggle, even if your pace slows down. Because you are not failing, you are forming, you are not breaking, you are becoming. And sometimes the moment you think you can't go on is the moment everything you prayed for begins to unfold. Victory is near. Hold on, don't quit now. Slow progress is something we often underestimate. We live in a world where everyone celebrates the final result, but rarely talks about the quiet, invisible steps that lead to it. And because of this, we convince ourselves that if something isn't happening fast enough, it's not happening at all. But let me tell you, my friend, real success rarely comes in big leaps. It comes in small, consistent, almost unnoticeable steps that slowly build into something extraordinary. Imagine a child learning to walk. Does he run on the first day? Does he sprint within a week? No. He falls again and again. Sometimes he stands, sometimes he loses balance, sometimes he gets scared and sits down. But what matters is not the speed of his progress. It's the fact that he keeps moving, keeps trying, keeps rising after every fall. And one day, without even realizing it happening, he walks. That is how all progress works. It is slow, it is steady, it is imperfect, but it is real. People often become discouraged because they compare their slow progress with someone else's fast progress. But what they forget is that every person's journey is different. The soil is different. The timing is different. The experiences are different. If a flower tries to bloom at the exact same time as another flower, it will only frustrate itself. But if it trusts its own season, its own pace, its own timing, it will bloom beautifully when the moment is right. And sometimes the progress you make is so quiet that not even you can notice it, yet life is shifting. Your mindset is getting stronger. Your patience is getting deeper. Your resilience is becoming unshakable. These are not changes you can see daily, but they are changes that shape your destiny. Just like a river cuts through rock not because of its strength, but because of its persistence, your small efforts done daily create results that even you cannot imagine right now. The problem is that we human beings want immediate rewards. If we put in effort today, we want results tomorrow. And when that doesn't happen, we feel demotivated. But success has its own silent schedule. You cannot force it, but you can prepare for it. Every day you wake and give even 1 inch of effort, that inch adds up. One day you will look back and realize those tiny inches created miles of progress. Slow progress is also a blessing in disguise. It teaches you humility, patience, discipline, and gratitude. It shapes your character in a way fast success never could. Fast progress builds ego, slow progress builds depth. Fast progress gives temporary excitement, slow progress gives lasting transformation. And when victory finally arrives after slow growth, it feels richer, sweeter, and more meaningful because you know you earned it inch by inch. Think of a mountain climber. Every step is small, every breath is heavy, every moment feels slow. But those small, slow steps are exactly what take him to the peak. If he waits for perfect weather, perfect energy, perfect conditions, he will never climb. If he gives up because the progress is slow, he will never see the view from the top. But if he keeps taking tiny steps, even if they feel insignificant, he will eventually stand where very few people reach. And that is the secret. Slow progress brings you closer to the place others never reach because they quit too early. So don't underestimate your small efforts. Don't disrespect your slow movement. As long as you are moving, even slowly, you are winning. Because slow progress is still progress. It is still movement. It is still growth. And one day, those small steps you are taking now will lead you to the victory you have been dreaming of. Keep going. Even if it feels slow, even if no one notices, the universe notices. Your future self notices. And very soon you will too. We grow up believing that failure is something shameful, something to hide, something that signals the end of the road. But the truth is completely different. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the path to success. Every person who has achieved something meaningful has walked through the valley of failure before reaching the mountain of victory. It is impossible to avoid it. It is impossible to escape it. Because failure is not an enemy, it is a silent teacher. Think about a baby trying to stand for the first time. He doesn't succeed immediately. He falls again and again. He doesn't complain. He doesn't feel embarrassed. And he certainly doesn't declare, walking is not for me. He simply tries again. That is why he eventually stands. That is why he eventually walks. We adults, however, fall once or twice and immediately think something is wrong with us. We don't realize that the only difference between a child who learns to walk and an adult who gives up is mindset. The child expects to fall. The adult expects perfection. And that expectation destroys growth. Failure is life's way of polishing us, preparing us, strengthening us. Success without failure doesn't build wisdom, it builds arrogance. But success that comes after failure builds depth, gratitude, maturity, and resilience. Failure teaches you things success never will. Failure shows you your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. Failure trains your mind to be patient and your heart to be humble. Failure pushes you to sharpen your skills, rethink your strategies, and reinvent your approach. Without this transformation, success has no foundation. Most people quit because they misinterpret failure. They think failure means stop, but failure actually means adjust. When a plane flies, it doesn't travel in a straight line. It is constantly adjusting. Left, right, slightly down, slightly up. but every adjustment brings it closer to the destination. Failure is simply an adjustment, not an ending. When Thomas Edison was trying to invent the light bulb, he failed hundreds of times. Someone asked him, "How does it feel to fail so many times?" And he replied, I did not fail. I discovered hundreds of ways that do not work. That is the attitude of someone who understands that failure is part of the journey. Imagine if he quit on attempt 100 or 500 or 999. The world might still be sitting in the dark. Even in nature, resilience is built through resistance. The butterfly must struggle inside the cocoon to develop the strength in its wings. If someone tries to help the butterfly by opening the cocoon early, it will never fly. That struggle, the pressure, the resistance, the effort is exactly what empowers it. You too are being strengthened by the discomfort of your failures. If you didn't face setbacks, you would not grow into the person who can handle the success waiting for you. Failure also teaches you to separate your identity from your performance. You may fail at a task, but that does not make you a failure as a person. It simply means that there is more to learn, more to refine, more to grow. And this understanding liberates you. It frees you from fear. It frees you from judgment. It allows you to try again. Not with shame, but with wisdom. Whenever you feel defeated, remember this: every failure you experience is a stepping stone placed by life to guide you toward the outcome you are meant to achieve. Success uses failure as its foundation. And the people who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to stay down. So don't let failure discourage you. Let it teach you. Let it refine you. Let it build the strength and clarity you need to reach your victory. Because every failure you survive becomes part of your story, part of your strength, part of your journey to the top. And someday, when you win, you will realize it was the failures that made you worthy of the success. There comes a moment in every person's life when they stand at a crossroads. On one side is pain, discomfort, exhaustion, and on the other side is the tempting idea of quitting. And in that moment, the mind whispers, "Why continue? Why suffer?" But what the mind doesn't whisper is the truth that quitting might give temporary relief, yet it creates a lifetime of regret. Pain fades, but regret doesn't. Pain is a passing visitor, but regret becomes a permanent guest in your heart. Pain is a strange companion. It arrives uninvited. It tests your patience. It questions your purpose. It tries to shake your faith. But pain also has a hidden gift. It awakens your strength. No one grows in comfort. No one becomes extraordinary by staying unchallenged. Every struggle you face is shaping you, preparing you, stretching you. Pain is not there to break you. It is there to build you. But regret builds nothing. It only destroys confidence, hope, and self-belief. Think of people who look back years later and say, "If only I had continued. If only I hadn't quit at that time. If only I had pushed a little more." Their heart aches because they know they were capable, but they gave up too soon. Regret whispers at night. It steals peace. It bites the soul little by little. But the beautiful thing about pain is that it passes. It transforms. It teaches. It becomes a memory. Yet regret becomes a scar that stays forever. Pain is temporary. This is something we forget. Sometimes pain lasts a day, sometimes a week, sometimes a year, but it always passes. Look back at the hardest moments of your life, moments where you thought you couldn't survive, yet here you are. You endured. You made it through. You didn't break. You didn't collapse. You grew. Your pain shaped you into who you are today. But regret? If you've ever experienced it, you know how deeply it stings, how long it stays, how it whispers what could have been. Every athlete understands this law. Their muscles burn, their lungs ache, their legs tremble. The pain is intense, but they continue because they know that after the pain fades, the victory remains, the joy remains, the pride remains. But if they stop, if they quit in the middle, they don't just lose the match, they lose themselves. They lose the belief that they could have done more, and life is no different. When you quit on your dreams, you quit on your future self. The self who was waiting to celebrate your success. The self who was hoping you would stay strong. The self who believed in the person you are becoming. Quitting may feel like the easy road, but it is actually the most painful road in the long run, because the weight of regret is heavier than the weight of struggle. Pain is temporary but powerful. It teaches perseverance, it builds resilience, it purifies your intentions, it removes your weaknesses, it makes you discover your strengths. Pain is meaningful when you walk through it with purpose. But regret has no meaning. It gives nothing. It teaches nothing. It only reminds you of what you lost by choosing ease over effort. There is a day in the future where you will look back at this moment and you will either be grateful that you continued or heartbroken that you didn't. You will either smile with pride or sigh with regret. So when life gets tough, when your heart gets tired, when your mind wants to run away, remind yourself this pain will pass. But if you quit now, the regret will not. Endure the temporary pain so you can enjoy the permanent reward. Go through the struggle so you never have to face the regret of wondering what could have been. Keep going, because your victory is worth far more than your discomfort. And the person you are becoming is worth far more than the pain you are feeling now. Every challenge you face in life is not a punishment. It's preparation. It's shaping you in ways you cannot see right now. When life places obstacles in your path, it's not trying to stop you, it's trying to strengthen you. Imagine for a moment a piece of raw iron. On its own, it has no shine, no shape, no purpose. But when the blacksmith heats it, hammers it, bends it, and puts it under intense pressure, that same piece of iron becomes a sword, a tool of purpose, a symbol of strength. Without the fire and without the blows, it would remain just a simple piece of metal. You too are shaped by the heat of your struggles. Every hardship is hammering you into the person you are meant to become. We often look at successful people and admire their achievements, but we rarely see the battles they fought in silence, the tears they wiped when no one was watching, the nights they doubted themselves but still continued. It wasn't comfort that made them who they are, it was the challenges, the heartbreaks, the failures, the disappointments. These experiences carve their character just like a sculptor carves a statue. The sculptor doesn't gently tap the stone, he uses force. He uses pressure. He removes parts of the stone that don't belong. Life does the same to us. It removes our fears, our weaknesses, our excuses, and shapes us into stronger, wiser beings. Think about your own life. The moments that made you wiser were not the easy ones. The moments that built your confidence were not the ones where everything went smoothly. You grew the most during the times you had no choice but to be strong. You became braver when you faced difficulties you thought you couldn't survive. You became more determined when you overcame situations that once terrified you. Challenges are like spiritual gyms. While you lift the weight of your struggles, your inner strength grows. When we face problems, our first reaction is usually to escape, but escaping doesn't build strength, enduring does. Every person you admire has gone through seasons of intense pressure. And the irony is, the tougher the struggle, the stronger the person becomes. A tree that grows in gentle weather may look beautiful, but the tree that survives storms develops deeper roots. It becomes grounded, unshakable. Humans are no different. Storms don't weaken us, they reveal the strength we didn't know we had. Even in nature, nothing strong ever grows without resistance. The diamond needs pressure. The eagle pushes its babies out of the nest so they learn to fly. The bamboo stays underground for years, building roots before it shoots up into the sky. And in the same way, your challenges are building your emotional, mental, and spiritual roots. You may not see the growth yet, but below the surface, something powerful is happening. Your struggles are polishing you. Every difficulty removes a bit of self-doubt. Every setback cuts away a layer of fear. Every failure sharpens your focus. Every disappointment strengthens your courage. Life is not trying to break you, it is trying to prepare you for a victory you cannot even imagine right now. And here's the beautiful truth: the greater the challenge, the greater the transformation. The more life tests you, the more life trusts you. You are being shaped for something extraordinary, something meaningful, something that requires the kind of strength that only hardships can give you. So when challenges appear, don't ask, why me? Instead ask, what is this preparing me for? Because one day you will look back and realize that the very challenges that once felt unbearable were actually the turning points that made you unstoppable. Keep going. You are becoming stronger with every struggle. You are becoming wiser with every setback. You are becoming the person your future victories require. Your mindset is the invisible force that decides how far you will go in life. It is not your circumstances, not your resources, not your background that determines your strength. It is the way you think. A strong mindset can carry you through storms that would break a weak mind instantly. And the most powerful thing about mindset is that it shapes your endurance. It determines whether you keep moving or give up, whether you see a challenge as a barrier or as a bridge, whether you shrink under pressure or rise because of it. Your mind is like the steering wheel of a car. If it turns toward negativity, fear, and doubt, your life will move in that direction. But if it turns toward resilience, hope, and possibility, your life begins to open up. You can have the strongest body, but if your mind gives up, everything collapses. And you can have the weakest body, but if your mind remains unbroken, you can achieve the impossible. That is the power of mindset. When life tests you, the first battle doesn't happen outside. It happens inside your mind. Your thoughts start whispering, you can't do this, it's too much, you're not strong enough, stop trying. These whispers are far more dangerous than any external obstacle. Because if you believe them, you lose the battle before it even begins. But if you train your mind to respond with courage, I can do this. I will get through this. I'm not giving up. Then your mind becomes your greatest ally instead of your greatest enemy. A powerful mindset is not built in comfort. It is built in moments of doubt, pain, and struggle. When you force yourself to continue even when you want to stop, you are strengthening your mental muscles. Just like physical exercise tears your muscles so they can grow stronger, life tears your mindset so it can rebuild into something unshakable. Every hardship you face is training your mind to become more disciplined, more focused, more resilient. Think of a mountain climber. The higher he climbs, the thinner the air becomes. His body gets tired, his legs shake, his lungs burn. Physically, everything tells him to stop. But what keeps him climbing is not his muscles. It's his mindset, his belief, his inner voice saying, just one more step. That mindset is what brings him to the summit. Without that mental strength, no amount of physical ability would matter. Your mind is the gatekeeper of your destiny. If you use it well, it opens doors you never imagined. If you let it weaken, it closes doors that were meant for you. A strong mindset allows you to remain calm when everything around you is chaotic. It allows you to think clearly when life becomes confusing. It helps you stand tall when everything around you seems to be falling apart. And the most important part is this: your mindset is your choice. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you interpret it. Two people can face the same challenge. One sees it as a curse, the other sees it as a lesson. Two people can experience the same setback. One says, my life is over. The other says, my story is just beginning. The difference is not in the situation, it is in the mindset. Your thoughts are powerful creators. They build your courage or destroy it. They strengthen your spirit or weaken it. They either push you forward or pull you backward. And the quality of your life will always match the quality of your thoughts. So train your mind, feed it wisdom. Surround it with positivity. Teach it resilience. Remind it of your purpose. Encourage it when it becomes weak. Because if your mindset becomes strong, nothing in this world can stop you. But if it becomes weak, even the smallest challenge can feel unbearable. Strengthen your mind, and your life will follow. True endurance does not come from the body. It comes from the belief that lives inside you. And that belief, once ignited, can carry you through anything. There will always be people who doubt you, who question your abilities, who underestimate your potential. Sometimes their words sound harmless from the outside, but they plant seeds of insecurity in your heart. They say, you can't do it. You're aiming too high. This isn't for you. You're not capable enough. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start believing them. But the truth is, other people's doubts are only reflections of their own limitations, not yours. What they think about you is not your reality. It is their fear, their insecurity, their lack of vision disguised as advice. If a person has never climbed a mountain, he will convince you the mountain is impossible to climb. If a person has never chased a dream, he will tell you dreams are pointless. If a person has given up on their own life, they will always suggest you do the same. People speak from their experiences, not from your potential. That is why you must learn to filter voices. Not all opinions deserve space in your mind. Not all advice deserves to be taken seriously. Sometimes the loudest voices outside are the weakest voices inside themselves. If you let the opinions of others decide your path, you lose the power to create your own story. You become a character in someone else's CRIPT, not the author of your own. That is why you must protect your inner space. You must guard your self-belief like a precious treasure, because once you lose it, you lose everything. The world will only believe in you after you first believe in yourself. Victory begins internally. It begins with the voice inside your heart saying, I can do this, no matter what they say. Every successful person has been doubted. Every achiever has been criticized. Every dreamer has been laughed at. But their greatness came from choosing not to internalize other people's opinions. They learned to silence the noise and listen to their inner conviction. They understood that the path to success is meant to be lonely, because not everyone is capable of seeing what you see or feeling what you feel. Imagine an eagle. While other birds stay near the ground, afraid of the wind, the eagle flies so high that the noise of the world cannot reach him. Not because he is arrogant, but because he knows his place is above the negativity, not inside it. You too must rise above the noise, above the doubts, above the judgments. Your purpose is too great to be held down by voices that don't understand your journey. Sometimes the doubt comes from people close to you. Friends, family, colleagues. Not because they don't love you, but because they don't see what you see. They are trying to protect you from failure, not realizing that their fear is interfering with your growth. In those moments, you must be strong enough to say, I understand your concern, but this is my path, this is my journey, this is my calling. Your life is not meant to be lived according to the limitations others place on you. And do you know something profound? The same people who doubt you today will be the ones who admire you tomorrow. The same people who question your choices will later applaud your results. But that transformation only happens if you continue, if you persist, if you refuse to let their words stop you. The world loves to doubt first and celebrate later. So don't be discouraged by the doubt. You are simply in the first part of the story. Keep going until you reach the part where the world claps for you. Your inner strength is far more important than outer approval. Your belief in yourself carries more weight than the opinions of 100 people. So rise above the noise, rise above the doubt, rise above the negativity. The moment you stop letting others define you, you start discovering who you truly are. And that version of you, the confident, determined, unstoppable version, is capable of achieving victories far beyond what anyone imagines. So keep moving forward. Let people talk, let them doubt, let them misunderstand, because in the end, it won't be their words that define your life. It will be your courage, your persistence, and your unwavering belief that you were born to rise. There is a deep truth many people forget. The journey of success is not meant to be rushed. Growth is not something you can force, speed up, or demand on your preferred timeline. Everything in life unfolds in its own divine timing. A seed does not become a tree overnight. A baby does not learn to walk the moment it is born. A river does not carve mountains in a single day. Yet we humans expect our dreams to manifest instantly, our goals to be achieved immediately, and our efforts to show results without allowing time to work its magic. When things don't happen fast, we panic, we doubt, we become restless, we feel like giving up. But real growth, deep, meaningful, lasting growth, requires patience. Patience is not the absence of progress, it is the trust that progress is happening even when you cannot see it. When you plant a seed, nothing appears above the soil for days or sometimes weeks. But beneath the surface, roots are forming, the foundation is being built. If you lose patience and dig up the soil to check the seed, you destroy its chance to grow. Many people do this with their own dreams. They start something, but when they don't see quick results, they uproot everything, their effort, their focus, their hope. They destroy their own growth by expecting speed instead of trusting the process. Life's timing is always perfect, even when it feels painfully slow. There are seasons for planting and seasons for harvesting. You cannot harvest in the season of planting, and you cannot plant in the season of harvest. Each phase has its purpose. What you're going through right now is preparing you for what is coming next. Every delay is shaping you. Every pause is teaching you. Every not yet is protecting you. Sometimes life slows you down because you're not ready for what you're asking for. Not because you don't deserve it, but because you need more strength, more wisdom, more humility, or more clarity before you can receive it. Impatience creates frustration. Frustration blinds you to progress. And when you're blinded, you overlook how far you've come. You forget that every great achievement in history took time. Empires were built brick by brick. Relationships matured day by day. Skills developed attempt by attempt. Yet we expect miracles in minutes. We want shortcuts, hacks, and instant success. But shortcuts may reduce the journey, yet they also reduce the strength you gain along the way. And when your character isn't as strong as your victory, success becomes hard to sustain. Think of the bamboo tree. You water it for years without seeing anything sprout from the ground. People may laugh, mock, or question why you're wasting your time. But you continue nurturing it with faith. Then, in one season, it suddenly shoots up dramatically, growing feet within weeks. Did it grow overnight? No. It was growing all along, just out of sight. Your life works the same way. You may not see immediate results, but something is shifting beneath the surface. Your roots are forming, your strength is building, your moment is coming. And remember, rushing often leads to ruin. When a fruit is plucked before its time, it tastes sour. When a person rises before they are ready, they fall easily. Life delays certain things not to disappoint you, but to protect you from arriving at the destination before. Your character is strong enough to stay there. Patience doesn't weaken your journey, it stabilizes it. When you learn to trust the timing of your life, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. You stop comparing your path to others. You stop blaming yourself for the pace of your progress. You stop forcing things that are not ready to unfold. Instead, you begin to move with life instead of against it. You realize that the universe is not ignoring you, it is aligning things for you. And when the moment is right, everything will fall into place so effortlessly that you will wonder why you ever doubted. So take a deep breath and slow down. Do your best, stay consistent, keep moving forward, and trust that what is meant for you will come, sometimes later than you expected, but always better than you imagined. Patience is not a delay in your destiny, it is a preparation for your victory.